try to get people home in the aquifer. How long has that been a benchmark? When did y'all come up with that, John? Was it?
John, I don't know. I don't think there's any specific benchmark.
No, when was it set? I feel like it.
No, you're asking the question, is there a benchmark of any one specific issue of when the evacuation is going to be lifted? Is that the question?
No, the question is, why is it taking so long to start venting the aquifer?
Well, I'm not sure that that's the only benchmark. You have to understand, early on, that there was a lot of concern about the sinkhole expanding and getting further. And without any knowledge of the cavern, the gas has always been an issue. But without knowledge of what's going on in the cavern or the source of the gas, our concern was would there be a potential another sinkhole, not just the expansion of that one that would develop in the vicinity, in the community, that was a result. But now as things get together, I think the gas, if we can get some signs as to the sinkhole, there won't be another one, or there won't be any further expansion, then all of these things are combined are going to kind of lead to our efforts to how we deal with evacuation. That's going to conclude it, but before we leave, let me just say a couple of things. We're going to continue to try to do these meetings and briefings on a routine basis. By early next week, we'll give another date to try to keep you updated. I want you to understand that these are updates, that we're trying to give the most recent information that we're receiving. I'm not sure at the next meeting we'll have the ultimate answer, because obviously it's a lot more complex than I would have ever thought, and obviously even the scientists are finding it very, very complex, because it's a very, very serious situation, and very serious, because we don't call mandatory evacuations lightly, because it affects people, it affects their homes, their houses, their families. So we're not taking this lightly, but I don't think you all would want us to end the evacuation just so we can say the evacuation's over. We want to have some level of confidence that people can be safe. With that, you know, I appreciate your patience, but understanding what you know is what we know. And I know there's a lot of questions. You may feel that we just, why aren't they telling us this or that? What I know, you know. I promise you that. There's just a lot of questions that are unanswered. And it's taken us a long time to get this far. And I can tell you early on, I'm not sure all the agencies had the sense of urgency that you all did, we did. I get the feeling now that all the agencies have that sense of urgency, and they're now coming to, everybody is coming together to try to get this thing worked out and in a safe fashion. So I have a level of confidence that there is a sense of urgency. We have one of our senators here, Troy Brown from the Belrose, Louisiana. And Troy, I would ask, I know Rick Ward was at the last meeting, and he's on the Natural Resource Committee, but a lot of these questions that these residents have are not just with this event, but where do we go forward with all of the activity on the dome? And I think a lot of that can be through the legislature in Baton Rouge, working with DNR to come up with regulations and make sure that these regulations are put in place from the state level that can protect and people can have full knowledge of what's going on this dome. So we'd ask you your consideration to work with Rick Ward, Karen Sangerman, and all the other legislators to try to come with the DNR to come up with a regulation that hopefully can protect the citizens. And we thank you for being here.
No problem. Thank you. I think one of the things that we have to look at in dealing with our patients, the hardest thing is the patients of letting these professionals work and do their job. Keep in mind, they don't work for Texas Prime. They're working for you all. So everything that they're doing right now in their exploratory and investigative stage right now is to find out what's really going on, why is it going on, what's the cause of it before we can move to the next phase. The good thing that we do have, as Morty just reiterated, that Senator Ward sits on natural resources. We get the best of both worlds here. Me being from here, a native and a resident here, I'm actually vice chair of the Environmental Quality Committee, so we get the best of both worlds. So when a lot of this data comes out, we have a meeting come next month with the Environmental Quality Committee. I do plan to let them know a lot of the details of what's going on down here so that we as a body can possibly, if necessary, get the federal government involved if necessary. Because as we can see, it's been almost 2 months and a lot of questions, as he said, are still unanswered. It may be possible we may need to have feds involved in this because this is new. This is not a hurricane. We can deal with a hurricane like that because we have history of that. But this is something new, even though it's happening in a lot of other countries. I understand in a couple of foreign countries this has happened. But a lot of that information we have not gotten yet. And we got to commend these guys for doing such a job that they have been doing. They have not ignored this area.